Nothing inspires 1920s nostalgia quite like fashion. In a decade filled with fabulous flappers and changing trends, dresses that were worn for special occasions somehow have even more of an impact. From white tea dresses to the breezy gowns worn at glamorous garden parties, upper-class women during the Roaring '20s knew how to turn up the charm when it came to the elegant events. The history behind 1920s garden parties. Nothing captures the splendor of the 1920th century quite like a garden party. The term garden party conjures up images of breezy, blue sky days in the great outdoors, where ladylike women in gossamer white dresses floated amongst a sea of greenery. This charming image exudes a type of elegance that is all but missing from the modern era. Garden parties first became popular thanks to the fashionable Queen Victoria in the late 1860s. She famously gathered groups together for outdoor breakfasts that would last into the afternoon. These parties attracted the attention of royals, noble families, and other upper-class members of society. Eventually, this tradition trickled down until garden parties became an important summer event held by all members of society. As the name suggests, these parties were held outdoors during warm summer months. The refreshments offered at these events often mimicked what you would find at a traditional British tea, namely sconces, clotted cream, jam, petit fours, and finger sandwiches were easy to eat and perfect for warm summer afternoons. 1920s garden party activities. Garden parties and other posh daytime activities that took place in the 1920s were rich in tradition. Many lawn games that are still played today became popular during these events to entertain guests. Games played at these events included croquet. Croquet first arrived in England in the mid-1800s. Soon it became a popular co-ed sport that men and women could equally enjoy. In fact, Wimbledon began by hosting croquet championships in the 1870s, but stopped when lawn tennis became a more popular pastime among the masses. When playing croquet, flat-soled shoes were required as well as a brimmed hat to shield one's eyes from the sun. Wearing all-white attire was also the tradition, making it perfect for prim, proper garden gatherings. Bocce ball. Many people in the present day play bocce ball, a pastime that requires players to land their team's balls in closer proximity to a larger ball, known as a pallino, than their opponents. This game was popular in the 1920s and frequently played at traditional British garden parties. Because it doesn't require a large amount of physical exertion, people could easily play it in their all-white party attire. Badminton. Badminton is another backyard pastime that is still popular in the present era. In the late 1800s, the Duke of Beaufort held a garden party at his country home in Badminton. There, guests tried to recreate a popular game that they had seen played in India during their travels there. What they invented was badminton, a game that requires players on each side of a net to hit a shuttlecock back and forth. White dresses, known as tennis frocks, were what women wore during this backyard pastime. Royal garden parties. In general, garden parties were prestigious events that were only attended by the wealthiest or most elite members of society. The most famous garden party of all is the one held at Buckingham Palace by the British royal family. The photo above, which was taken in 1911, depicts one of these famous outdoor events. According to reports at the time, these garden parties welcomed elite members of London society together with their individuals from the British Empire who had connections with the court of St. James. As times went on, garden parties changed slightly from those started by Queen Victoria in 1860. Still, they served as a way for wealthy invited guests to mingle and enjoy a fashionable party held on the grounds of the Royal Palace and Marlborough House. They also have served as debutante presentations where wealthy young women would come out to society members. The tradition of Royal Garden Party continues into the modern era. Although they have changed slightly over time, Queen Elizabeth II decided to maintain the tradition. Every year, at least 3 formal garden parties are held at Buckingham Palace. Just like in the days of yesteryear, royals like Prince Harry, Princess Beatrice, Princess Eugenie attended these events every year.